Well, hi, I'm Rosebean and I like to draw, and today I will be reimagining Firefly from Honkai Star Rail if she was a porcelain doll like me. Now, the first question that you probably have is, what is a porcelain doll? Well, it is a species that I made up that is free to use, but I would prefer it if you used credit when talking about them or drawing them. But it's basically a small little doll that can be no bigger than a foot tall, which is made of porcelain as a base, and then it interacts with an object or a thing. It could even be an animal, and then it becomes very similar to that thing. Now, there are some rules when it comes to porcelain dolls, though. The first and most important rule is that their skin will always be a variation of gray, because it's like porcelain, but it can be painted over to be whatever color. It's just most of them choose to keep their skin as gray. Next is that their anatomy will always never be exactly like a human. They can never have all four limbs and eyes and a nose and a mouth. There has to be something different about them. Like me, I have a rose for an eye, and Firefly here, well, she has antennas and bug limbs. And lastly, their name will always be two separate words, and the first word can be treated as a first name. So for example, me, Rose Bean. I am rose themed and I'm just a little bean, Rosebean. This Firefly that I'm drawing right now technically can't be called Firefly because the word is all one word, so her new name is Little Bug. But the rest of it, you can do pretty much whatever. It's just, do take into account that these are dolls, and they don't all have to have jaws like her where it goes on a hinge or hinges on their limbs. That's just a preference that I like to draw them with. In her case, though, I gave her hinge jaw because it made her face look a little bit more bug-like, which she touched a firefly, so she's gonna look pretty bug-like. When I was drawing her, it took a long time for me to figure out which skin color I wanted to use, if you could even call it skin, but in the end I decided to do this slightly purplish gray color that is taken from her original design but diluted with gray. And this could possibly just be a variation of porcelain doll skin, or she could have painted it. I don't know. Possibly the reason that her skin tone does look a little bit weird is because Firefly in the lore is an artificially created human, so making her look a lot different from other porcelain dolls with naturally gray skin sets her aside and makes her look very different, other than in actual game where she just looks pretty normal. For this piece of art in particular, I used my very round pen brush, which I don't usually use, but I thought it would work really well for this piece because compared to my other art, she would look very smooth and kind of artificial because the other pen that I use is very grainy and has a lot of cool texture to it. But it does work because fireflies and other insects are usually very smooth as well, and it does convey this sort of almost alien-like texture, and I really like it, but I will be going back to my normal brush because I like it a lot more. This feels like a good time to mention that I think Firefly would have the most obnoxiously loud sneezes known to man. Probably because she is artificial human and maybe she's extra strong like that, but if you have a nice vase around her while she sneezes, no you don't. That face is gone. That face is a million pieces now. And right after she sneezes with the power of a tornado, she'll make the tiniest little "excuse me" ever, and I won't even be mad about the vase anymore because she's too stinking cute. The reason I decided to draw Firefly for this video in particular was because she came pretty relevant again in the latest Penacony quest, and Honkai Star Rail, stop making sad stories. I just got over Amphorius and then you hit me with this? I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but oh my gosh, stop! My next video is probably just gonna be this again, except with Kafka instead of Firefly, because I got super inspired and now her line art is completely done and I'm just about to color that. So, I hope you guys like Kafka. And that just about wraps up this week's video. I didn't really want to talk about the art that I was drawing because you kind of really just see it and it's pretty self-explanatory, but don't forget to drink water and don't forget to have a great day, and thank you for watching.